With 15.2, Avi released Continuous Security Insights. And Continuous Security Insights, or CSI, integrates a lot of visual and feedback into the UI as you're navigating throughout the Avi Vantage. So for instance, if you're doing something like setting up SSL, if you misconfigure SSL in such a way that it's less secure, we want to be able to let you know that and tell you right away. So instead of the open SSL, here's my endless list of ciphers that goes on forever, you can certainly do that path, or you can say instead, here's simply just a list of a table of ciphers, and I can enable, disable, move them around, drag and drop, point and click, and you've got real-time feedback as to what is your score? What is the security score? What is the performance rating of these ciphers? What is the compatibility with clients that may be connecting to you? So you can turn on RC4 MD5, and sure, the site will be very fast, great performance, but your security score is going to drop dramatically. And that type of feedback is very, very valuable to configuring very complex security-related scenarios. So if you do something like that, maybe you want to instead have a security role that Avi has added in 15.2 that has the ability to set the minimum threshold or the minimum bar as to what's allowed. So in this case, I'm not allowed to configure or turn on SSL v3, which would leave me vulnerable to the poodle attack. So that doesn't exist as an option for me. Same thing, we can say I want to have the minimum security score as to what someone can configure to make sure that each and every tenant or user of my Avi Vantage load balancer doesn't have the ability to break something that they should not be able to do. This makes it very easy to do some very complicated security in a way that's very understandable. It says right here, I've got 100, life is good. I'll show you a couple of other examples as well. If we're looking at our list of applications, one of the things that Avi has done is with the health score, which gives you an indication about the score of the application itself, we've also now added the security penalty. So if a site has a security penalty, that'll be flagged to you, and that security penalty could be something like a DDoS attack, or maybe you have misconfigured your SSL, or some other scenario like this where you have a higher risk of a security threat. So if we drill into this application, we can go and take a look as well now at this new security tab that Avi has added. You can also go into the insights, and then from the insights of the health, it'll tell you why you have a 20-point penalty. But we could also look here into this page, and it gives us an indication about the SSL traffic that's coming into the site, as well as potentially any DDoS attacks that we may be getting hit with. Now at this level, I'm looking at a macro of over the past 6 hours. What is the breakdown of users that are coming into the site? Are they negotiating with RSA, with elliptic curve, with or without perfect forward secrecy? So I've got a complete visual insight as to who the users might be. I can also go into the logs and be very, very specific and say, I want to understand very specifically only users that are coming in from IE6, for instance. What version of what ciphers are they using, what SSL version? So you've got a complete ability to drill down into and understand that if there's a security risk, what is it? And then be able to understand more details about it. In this case, I'm getting deducted a little bit here because I'm not using a trusted CA or trusted certificate authority. I'm also getting some issues here where I'm getting hit with some DOS attacks as well that I may want to drill into and understand if that's a network-based DOS attack or an application-based, and then understand maybe a little more about what I should do to block that or mitigate that. And Avi's introduced a lot of additional abilities to do request throttling and rate shaping and filtering, etc. So this gives me a lot of ability to understand if there's an issue, be able to mitigate that issue, and then once I've mitigated it, be able to validate that things are indeed better now that I've done this. So we're taking something that's very complicated like security and making it be something that the average everyday person can do and do correctly, which is a very difficult task.